What's up, guys? My name is Danny or Daniel. I draw cars and turn them into 3D prints using HueForge, and I also do HueForge tutorials for all of you. About a year ago, I made a tutorial video to show you guys how you can use infinite amount of colors in your AMSs if you are doing HueForges. Well, now it's the year of the tool changer, and a lot of people continue to ask how you can do an infinite amount of colors on these brand new tool changers, such as the Snapmaker U1. I myself only have one 3D printer that runs an MMU. I don't even have an AMS style printer anymore. It's all tool changers here. So I needed to figure out a way to do an infinite amount of colors to make these HueForge videos for all of you guys. So I'm going to show you what I learned along the way and how you can do these at home with your tool changers. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now, before we get into the slicer, there's one thing that you need to understand, and that is that HueForge is all swap by layer. So technically you can do a HueForge on any kind of 3D printer that supports pauses. When I say that HueForge is swap by layer, I mean that we are literally printing an entire color, and then we'll swap to a second color. We're not gonna do multiple swaps per layer like you would with a traditional multicolor 3D print. So theoretically, you could 3D print a HueForge on any style of 3D printer that supports pauses, and a tool changer is no different than that. Now, there is an exception to this rule, and that is some of the plugins that have been released in the last year, like FlatForge. FlatForge is a plugin that was released in order for you to print a HueForge face down on your bed, whether to get those really cool effects from all your build plates, or maybe you just didn't like the texture of a traditional HueForge. In order to do a FlatForge, you have to be able to do multiple swaps per layer. There's no way around that. So if you were trying to do an infinite amount of colors with a FlatForge, yeah, that's not happening on your U1. So let's go ahead and get into the slicer, and I will show you how you can do an infinite amount of colors for a traditional HueForge, and I will show you a little bit of the printing process and how we're gonna swap out filaments on our tool changers. So for people that are new around here, I have all of these car designs like this 8.6 here published over on Maker World, Thangs, Patreon, and Cults 3D. This particular image, I have it published as a black and white, just black and white, and I have it published with black, purple, and white. But I wanted to make it a little bit more complicated for today's example project while we're doing this tutorial, because there are some use cases that might trip you up while you're doing these infinite color swaps on a tool changer. But in our color core, we are using 7 unique filaments. If I come down here to describe, you can see 7 unique filaments. We have doubled up on the white, and the reason that I've doubled up on the white is so that rather than using this dark purple and using like a violet or a lilac, I can just use white and blend from that darker purple up into the white. We're not actually going to get to true white up here, but we'll get all those lighter shades of purple in between on the fish. So this is a pretty common use case when you're doing color match and just in general when you're doing filament painting. So I wanted to show you guys what it'll look like when it's done printing, and I wanted to show you guys and just give a little bit of context as to why it might look a little weird when we're in Snapmaker Orca. So now that we're in Snapmaker Orca, you can see that I've already done a lot of the legwork, and on the right-hand side, I've already set up the 7 colors along with our 7 swaps. And the difference here between using an AMS style printer to go infinite and using a tool changer style printer to go infinite is with the AMS style printers, you have a runout sensor in the AMS to let the machine know that, hey, you've run out of colors in one particular lane. On a tool changer, you do have filament runout sensors, but it's a little bit more complicated than just being able to pull out a strand of filament. So for this particular method, and this will work on either an AMS style printer or a tool changing printer, but for this method, we have to come over here before we get to the 5th color. We have to set a pause just before we do that swap. So if we come over here, we can add our pause. And now what'll happen is our machine will print all the way up until we get to just before we do our swap to our 5th color. This will allow us to pull colors 1, 2, and 3, and we could swap in colors 5, 6, and 7. We're gonna leave white in place because we use white twice, and we're using the same exact white both times in this particular HueForge project. So let me show you, whenever we slice this, we can come up here and hit print, and then we will upload and print, and you'll see that all of our colors in our filament tab are in sequential order according to how our filament tab looks over here on the left-hand side. So I try to keep everything in order of how we're going to use it whenever I'm first setting up a HueForge project, just to make this process a whole lot easier. So our first 4 colors are correct. And then all we have to do is set up our 5th color, our 6th color, and our 7th color accordingly. We're going to leave white in place because it will know that this 4th tool, it has white filament in it. So we don't have to mess with that at all. But now these are set up correctly, and I highly recommend if you're gonna do this method to take a picture or screenshot of this particular screen, because I guarantee you're gonna forget, especially if you get into 8+ colors, because there are just a lot of swaps happening and it can get kind of confusing, especially if you're using a color twice or 3 times potentially, just depending on your workflow. I'm showing you how we can do this on a Snapmaker U1, but there's also other style tool changers. Like I myself have built 2 stealth changers, and that process is a little bit different. So I want to show some love to those people. So we're going to actually open up this project in regular Orca Slicer, and I'll show you how it varies in that particular slicer. So now that we're in Orca Slicer, what I meant by the stealth changer is a little bit different than the U1 is over here on the left-hand side where we have our filaments tab. Each of these filaments is basically irrelevant. The color is irrelevant. These directly correlate to which tool we are going to be using. So it doesn't matter that it's orange, this is tool 1. It doesn't matter that it's yellow, this is tool 2. Whereas over in Snapmaker Orca, we can use up to 7 colors. We can use infinite colors here. But in regular Orca Slicer, it's a little bit more complicated with the stealth changer. We have to keep these 6 in mind, and we have to kind of keep a little bit more in the back of our head whenever we're doing infinite amount of colors on our tool changers. So just make sure, especially if you have a stealth changer at home or any kind of tool changer and you're using Orca Slicer, that you just set it up in order, because it'll be easier on you. And with a 6-tool tool changer, you have to touch your printer a lot less, so that's a plus if you have one of these Voron style printers. But over here on the right-hand side, it's the same process. All we have to do is go to the layer before, and we have to hit pause, and then we will be set up so that our printer pauses here, and then we can swap out our first tool for our last color, which in this case is magenta. So I just wanted to point that out, that we can't really add more filaments here like we can over in Snapmaker Orca. You can see here that we have our add and subtract filaments. So it's just it's a little bit different of a process, and our slice and print screen are just, it's more complicated. You know, that's the Voron DIY lifestyle, but I still wanted to just take a second to point that out. But it's a little bit more difficult visually speaking than it is over here at Snapmaker Orca, because we can just visually add all the colors that we're going to use and then set them up over here on the right hand side. And then we have this nice UI for the U1. So let's go ahead and we're going to get this printed. We're going to get this started, and I will switch over to the regular camera and we'll talk about when it gets to the pause. All right, so we have come to that pause. So now all we have to do is go to home. We go to our filament, and then we come over to unloading mode, and we can unload 1, 2, and 3. And it will go through the process of unloading our filament, and then all we have to do is change out those colors. So now that everything is unloaded, we're gonna go ahead and load up colors 5, 6, and 7. And we left that jade white, as you can see. And that is because, like I said, we told the slicer that that is gonna stay in slot 4. So we shouldn't have any issues there. But let's go ahead and load these up, and then we can finish the printout. And with that, we are done printing this beautiful 7-color HueForge on the Snapmaker U1. I think that this 7-color version of my 8.6 model came out beautifully, and I hope that this video shows you that even though you only have 4 tools on the Snapmaker U1, or 6 tools on a stealth changer, or however many tools you're working with, it's not as limiting as you might think, especially when it comes to HueForge. This video was actually inspired by one of my Patreon members. I was helping him with a 10-color Pokemon card, and I think that that project came out great as well, but he was kind of confused on how I got 10 colors out of the Snapmaker U1, so I figured I would do a longer video for all of you. And speaking of Patreon, this video and others would not be possible without the support of all of you guys. And for anybody else watching that's in the market for some filament, this video is not sponsored by anybody, but I do have some new coupon codes for some filament companies that I use regularly, so go check that out in my link tree. I'll have links for that down below in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you learned something.